Hey guys, welcome back to the Skywalker Academy, and today I'm going to be reading off all the fan characters you submitted for the Sith Character community posts. But before we get started, let's just go over the criteria. Sith name, their real name, which is an optional one, age, gender, species, era, otherwise known as the time period which they reside in, their rank, appearance, their outfit, home planet, their lightsaber, and in terms of that, their what kind of lightsaber, their color, and what form or forms do they use, and their backstory. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And apologies in advance if I get any of the characters' names wrong or if I say them wrong. From the old school gamer, Sith name Darth Inquisitorius, real name unknown, age unknown but he looks like he's in his 30s, gender male, species human, the time period or era, the Old Republic, rank he's a Dark Lord of the Sith and member of the Dark Council, appearance pale complexion, slim face, thin black tattoos on his face, slightly muscular, dark circles under yellow eyes, long straight blonde hair. In his outfit, he wears burnt silver armor with elegant patterns and crimson red trim around the edges. Black bracers, wears a long flowing crimson cape, and has purple lightning. Planet unknown, lightsaber, hardly uses it, but has a single bladed blood red lightsaber, and he strictly uses Form 7. And now for the backstory. Little is known about Darth Inquisitorius as he keeps his past a buried secret. What we do know is he seeks all dark side knowledge and is obsessed with power, even more than the average Sith. While exploring an ancient Sith temple on Dathomir, then Lord Inquisitorius found a strong Force-sensitive Dathomirian girl named Zula. Yeah, I'm assuming that's how you say it, Zula. Seeing an opportunity for more power, Inquisitorius struck a deal where he will train Zula in exchange for knowledge on their magic. Once Zula finished her basic training, now Darth Inquisitorius would train her to be his personal assassin and would teach her about her sister's magic. He was brutal to Zula, only craving the power it gave him. After the previous Dark Council member mysteriously died, quotation in quotations, Darth Inquisitorius would take their place and become the head of the Pyramid of Ancient Knowledge. Now in a position of power, Darth Inquisitorius begins his plans to one day overthrow the Sith Emperor Vitiate and become the most powerful Sith. Yet he fears his apprentice will turn against him. Darth Inquisitorius is a cruel, manipulative monster who will stop at nothing to achieve ultimate power. Okay. Oh, I love this one. That's cool. Like, just a Sith who. This kind of reminds me of Palpatine genuinely doesn't care about anyone except himself. Very self serving and manipulative. Yeah, this guy sounds awesome. I would actually love to see a story about him, and I'm actually curious about his past, why he's the way he is. And we got another one from the old school gamer. Sith name Lord Zula, real name Zula, age 19, gender female, species Dathomirian, era/time period the Old Republic, rank Sith apprentice, appearance ashen gray complexion, round face, gray hair in a long disconnected bob hairstyle, dark circles under yellow eyes. Her outfit she wears a dark red sleeveless tunic, dark red bracers with red arm wraps, wears a high-tech belt with a black sash underneath, has a black cloak with red lining, also has green force lightning. Home planet Dathomir. Her lightsaber color is hold on. Yeah. She has a double-bladed lightsaber that is dark purple and uses forms 3 and 7. And now for her backstory. Born on the planet Dathomir, Zula was a member of the Night Sisters. On an excursion to the ancients, on an excursion to an ancient Sith temple, a small detachment of Sith acolytes led by Lord Inquisitorius found Zula and, sensing her connection with the dark side, took her after making an agreement with the mother of the Night Sisters to share knowledge. Zula would be sent to Korriban to begin her training. Her training was brutal and intense due to her Night Sister blood. The other acolytes would saw her as a threat, but she mostly kept to herself. Wanting to increase his knowledge, now Darth Inquisitorius took Zula as his student. Training the training would only become more intense for her. From there, Zula would be sent on impossible solo missions constantly as a way to prove her allegiance before she even had a lightsaber. Zula would become Darth Inquisitorius' personal assassin, taking out anyone who stood in his way. Once once the time came to construct her weapon, unlike other Sith, she had a purple blade. She chose the double blade to align with her speed, but also her role as an assassin. She would infuse her lightsaber with Night Sister magic, allowing it to be stronger than before, but also making it so only she can wield it. If anyone else touched it, they would be shocked with powerful magic that could kill. Zula is stubborn, fearless, and passionate, who, while still devoted to the dark side, as though there's another path feels as though another path calls to her. Will she take that leap of faith? Dude, both of these characters are dope. And Zula's, I definitely get a lot of Ventress vibes from her being taken from the Night Sisters, trained as a Sith, yeah, no, Ventress was a Jedi before she was a Sith. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely see the Ventress vibes, and I love the idea of that. While she's a Darksider, she's still uncertain about her allegiance, always in constant conflict. And I love the idea of a purple double-bladed lightsaber. It just sounds dope. Thank you for your submission. From Brick Stop Motions. Sith name, Darth Vikron, I think that's how you say it. Real name, unknown. Age, 5,000 years. Man, this guy's old. Gender, male, well, he used to be. Species, human, again, he used to be. Era, the Old Republic, specifically SOTOR and KOTOR, and is now in the Imperial era 4 BBY, in other words, 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, or 4 years before A New Hope, for anyone who doesn't know. Rank Master, his appearance/outfit, he no longer has a body. All you can see of him is a dense black mist. His clothing consists of the mist, his hood, and a cape that are dark navy blue. He wears all black otherwise. He wears black gloves. He wears a black armor chest plate that is a little shiny, and some simple and similar leg armor. Home planet unknown. Lightsabers. He has two. The first is his own. It is a gunmetal gray color. I'd rather I'd rather simple a rather simple and and has a smooth crimson blade. The second is his master's. This pure black with spikes in various places and radically symmetrical. He wields his own in his right hand and his master's in his left hand. His lightsaber style is a mix of all the forms, though he does have a preference in all of them. He is proficient in all of them. He uses the force heavily and with fighting. And now for the backstory. Fikron was abducted as a child by his master, Darth Tyrtis. I'm going to say Tyrtis, so if I'm saying it wrong, please let me know. Darth Tyrtis He was a very harsh master and tortured Vikron whether he succeeded or failed in his task. When he was in his 30s, he had enough. He had had enough. When Tyrdes was torturing him with force lightning, he shot his own lightning back. This quickly caused an explosion which killed both of them, though one wasn't quite dead. He survived in some sense and took his master's lightsaber. He quickly became a high-ranking member. A quick he be, He quickly became very high-ranking among the Sith, gaining his own apprentice. He and a small council of Sith masters worked together to build a device that could transport the user through time. However, a moment before they were going to use it, the Jedi found them, including Vikron's longtime enemy, Master Joruus Ezel. Ezel, I think that's how I'm saying it right. They stopped the Sith plot and sent Vikron on a 5,000 year long revenge mission, which has so far culminated in a duel against Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. Oh, and he has something else to say. If you want any references, you can check out his videos, his videos Rival and The Device Part 2. Yeah, so I love this character concept and this idea. It gives me nihilist ideas I'm seeing a lot of the wound in the force, and the appearance sounds like one of the most terrifying things you could run into as a Darksider, considering I'm just assuming based off of this he can't really die, but he's already dead, but he's not dead. But yeah, there's so many cool ideas with this, and I'm definitely going to check those out when I get a chance because, man, this character sounds very interesting. From Paddles Productions, Darth Gibbous, I'm assuming I'm saying that right, Darth Gibbous, real name Gibson, age 23, gender male, species human, era the Old Republic, rank Sith Lord, appearance dark menacing tall towers over others, appearance dark mask hiding his real face, heavy armor, black clothing with red streak marks on torso, wide long dark black cape, double lightsaber, one side looks like a sword but laser. Ah, so it's kind of like the dark saber. Gotcha. No form, just his own combination. His home planet is Endor. Has force lightning. Can absorb force lightning and lightsabers with his hands. Ah, so he has two to menace. All right. And now it's time for the backstory. His mother and his father were fighting with each other because his father was a bounty hunter and his mother was a famous scientist. Were equally in battle and fell in love. His mother went with his father's ship and they went around the galaxy, but since is a famous scientist, other bounty hunters were chasing them down. One of them hit the ship and crashed onto in, onto Endor. The mother became pregnant and bore a son. His name was Gibson, but his parents died of starvation and thirst. The baby was left alone until soon a Sith Ewok found him, sensing that he is strong in the Force, and raised him and taught him everything he knew. But the Sith Ewok got found and was killed by 10 Jedi Knights. Darth Gibson killed one, but it happened that the one he killed was the brother of another Jedi called Carlos, who was desperate for revenge, but Gibsus Gib, Gibsus escaped, and Jedi Master Carlos has been hunting him down ever since. Not really much else about this terrifying Sith Lord. Okay, so apart from me stuttering trying to read this, and trying to get his name right. Yeah, I like this story. This is a pretty cool one. I'd like to think this being explored more could be pretty cool, and I think my favorite part of this is actually the Sith Ewok, because we all know how deadly those Ewoks were on Endor. Imagine if some of them had the Force and used Force lightning. Good God! But yeah, this is a very interesting story, and I hope to see you explore this more. Thank you for your submission. From Stormtrooper Creations. Sith name Darth Obnoxus. Obnoxus, I think that's how you say it. Darth Obnoxus, Lord of Boredom, Slayer of Fun. I love those titles. Real name he forgot when he became a Sith. Age over 1,000 years, but still looks around 40. Gender male. Species human. Era late Jedi Sith Wars into the Clone Wars. So, oh yeah, that's a long time. Rank master. Appearance hooded figure with visible face and red eyes. Sorry. Outfit black cape and hood with black armor on his torso and knees. Home planet Moraband. Hey, Moraband. Love that planet. Red lightsaber, red single blade. Lightsaber forms. Mixture of a bunch, but prefers to use force lightning to kill his enemies. Ah, so he's a Sidious person. Gotcha. Now for the backstory. Frozen in stasis by a rival Sith towards the end of the Jedi Sith Wars, awakens during the Clone Wars and decides to create his own empire. Two clone ships in space. Two clones on a spaceship stumble across a fleet of his and end up fighting him. So that's alright, that's it. In short, sweet, to the point. Yeah, I like this. This is a cool idea, and I think this one explored more could be pretty cool. Like, I could even see it. I don't know. I just really like this idea of a Sith frozen in time and then waking up during the prequels, and how do these more powerful Sith react to someone like Sidious, who by all intents and purposes is the most powerful Sith. And we got another one from Stormtrooper Creations. Name Darth Nefaris. Real name Tak Nefaris. I think that's how you say it. Age 29. Gender male. Species human. Era late Jedi Sith Wars. Rank master. Appearance scarred, black hair, red bloodshot eyes. Outfit mostly black armor, a black crested helmet with cheek guards like the Roman centurions, except with a shiny black visor where it should be open faced. Okay, I gotcha. Red cape, home planet unknown, lightsaber, one short red bladed lightsaber, and another red dagger sized lightsaber. Lightsaber forms, can't remember the one with two lightsabers, so anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% certain that that's Jarkai, so I think that's a variation of Form 5. But again, someone double check me if I'm wrong on that. And now for his backstory. He was recruited by the Sith at a very young age and went through brutal training. After several years, a Sith master named Darth Vicarus, I'm assuming that's how it's said, who was the commander of several Sith armies, also named Lord of Strategy, who chose him as his apprentice. Nefaris fought many battles against the Jedi, with his new Sith master as second in command of 3 Sith armies. He had victory after victory, with only one defeat against the Jedi Rourke Maris. I'm assuming I'm saying that right, Maris, who defeated the Sith forces. Vicarus and Nefaris regrouped their armies. Vicarus chose to land and wait while the Jedi arrived. They waited for several hours until Maris attacked from behind, catching them off guard. The remaining Sith forces were halved within the first half hour of fighting, and halved again within the whole hour. Nefaris, seeing their forces being crushed, decided to call for a retreat. Vicaris did not think the same and said they had to fight to the death and take as many Jedi as they could with them. Nefaris knew it would be they would be slaughtered, so stabbed his master in the back, killing him. Then he called for a retreat, managing to escape with a sliver of his army. Over the years, Nefaris regained the strength of his army he had once possessed and took over other Sith armies until he was the only one. He had the whole Sith military under his command doing whatever he ordered, including kill the Sith Emperor. The Sith Emperor saw this and decided it had to stop. He attempted to put several other Sith Lords to help command the military, but each one mysteriously died, so the Sith Emperor came up with another plan. He would send Nefaris into the front lines against the Jedi. After receiving his orders, Nefaris continued his campaign, destroying the Jedi armies. He conquered and enslaved every planet he came across. He fought for 5 years with no defeat, only pure victories. His name sent fear into those who opposed him, and he destroyed them. Nefaris was on the offensive and destroyed multiple armies with his strategies and left the Jedi weakened. Rourke Morris, who was in command of several Jedi armies now, decided to set a trap for him. His troops trained twice as hard and became the most elite Jedi Knights in the army. Nefaris then sent a coded transmission to Nefaris and faked it being leaked. Nefaris received it and read it. The transmission was that the Jedi had been crippled and the survivors were stranded on the planet Malachor 3. Nefaris regrouped with the Sith armies and landed on Malachor 3. He expected to find a few exhausted Jedi with no will to fight. Instead, he found a fully operational, fully battle-ready legion waiting for his arrival. The battle was brutal and lasted hours on end until both sides had immense casualties. After a while, Morris and 5 of his best broke off from the battle and attacked Nefaris himself. The duel was intense and savage. 2 of the Jedi died within the first 10 minutes, and another fell within the next 5. Morris's second in command cut Nefaris' helmet so only his bloodshot eyes could be seen, but was swiftly disposed of. Nefaris and another Jedi attacked the Sith. Soon the other Jedi was killed, and Nefaris was the only one left. He fought Nefaris in an even more savage duel, and it lasted for another hour, as neither could get through the other's defenses until Nefaris threw his dagger-like lightsaber into Morris's chest. Dying, Morris made one last attempt, charging Nefaris and stabbed him. Both Morris and Nefaris died as the Sith forces collapsed around them. The Jedi had the victory. Darth Nefaris, Lord of Armies, was no more. Dude, that's a good one. I love that. Just a pure battle-ready Sith willing to do anything to get his goals, and I'm definitely getting some Thrawn vibes from him for the simple fact he's a master tactician. And I love that name, Lord of Armies. That's terrifying that this person who is only not even 30 was one of the most dangerous people to live at the time. Dude, I love it. That's all I got to say. Thank you for your submissions. From Hardcore Lego Fan. Sith name Darth Audex I'm going to assume that's right, Darth Audax. Real name, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Age, 35. Gender, male. Species, human. Era, 10 years after the Clone Wars. Rank, appearance... Oh, a rank, apprentice slash beginner Sith. Outfit, wears black and gray armor and wears a helmet. Home planet, Tatooine. Lightsaber, he has a double-bladed red lightsaber similar to Darth Maul's. Okay. And for the backstory, Audax is essentially Obi-Wan in an alternate reality where he was pursued by Maul to join him and Palpatine as his apprentice. Hmm. So this basically what if Obi-Wan turned to the dark side? Ooh, okay. I love these alternate reality situations where anyone other than Anakin turns to the dark side, and that's not even me being biased because Anakin's my favorite character. I just think these are very fascinating and interesting ways to do Star Wars stories. Yeah, I love it. Simple, to the point. Thank you for your submission. From Plo Films, Darth Plo, Plo Koon, male, 385, Keldor, master. His head is Plo Koon's head, and he has black hands. He is in black robes and a black hood. Doran, which is his home planet, black hilt, red with a tinge of orange blade, like Balin's skulls from Ahsoka. Okay. And now for his backstory. He survived Order 66 and was hunted down ruthlessly. In order to survive, he tapped into the dark side. He was occasionally attacked by both the Empire and Rebellion. He hated clones and killed each and every one that he came across. He met his end at the hands of Darth Vader. Wow. Again, short, sweet, to the point. I I like it. As a Plo Koon fan, I always wish you lived. And while I personally don't think this is how things would have happened, it is interesting to see Plo turn to the dark side because he's honestly one of the most Jedi-like characters, and to see him fall is kind of sad. And to have his ultimate end be at the hands of someone who he trusted, like Anakin, and Anakin clearly respected him, it's just sad. Kind of a sad end for this Plo. Thank you for your submission. From Empty Eyes, Darth Malthus, real name Leviathan Carliths. Okay, I can't say that last name, I apologize, but I'm just going to say Leviathan. Age 43, gender male, species Doro. I think, isn't that Cad Bane's species? Please let me know in the comments. I can't remember what his species is. Era Sith Empire. Rank Sith Intellectual. He's an intellectual. Appearance blue skin, red eyes. Yeah, I think this is Cad Bane's species. Outfit formal business attire. Home planet Doros. Lightsaber red. And now for his backstory. Leviathan grew up the son of a successful trader and studied economics when he was young. During his studies, he became so convinced that the sentient species of the galaxy would consume and destroy everything they came across. He thought the only way the galaxy wouldn't implode on itself was by drastic population control. So we got a Thanos. When many years later the Sith Empire was on the rise, he became a public figure defending the Sith and presented the case that the destruction they brought on worlds did great good in stimulating the economy due to the activity that rebuilding created. His articles went far and wide and did much to pacify worlds into inaction that were far away from the conflict. He eventually made contact with a Sith leader who recognized some latent force potential in Leviathan, but more importantly saw him as a potential means to fund for his family's business. He told him if his father's business would be made an ally of the Sith, he would be allowed to join their ranks and help guide their economic policies. But when Leviathan approached his father, he was furious and completely opposed. He was actually in the process of he was actually in the process of more closely aligning with the Republic and Jedi. Incensed and at a crossroads, Leviathan made arrangements that his father was killed and took over the business. Not knowing how to run the business or having any interest in doing so, he simply signed over the company to the Sith, who then inducted him into their order, and granted him the title of Darth Malthus. 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 There we go. Though he continued to write apologies to the Sith's ongoing destruction, it is unknown how much impact he had in the economic policy of the Sith Empire at the time, as the quarterly SEEAB, otherwise known as the Sith Empire Economic Advisory Board meetings, were strictly confidential, and formally elected secretaries had a habit of dying mysteriously shortly after leaving the post. Okay, this is a very interesting and unique take. I'd actually love to see this told as a proper story, because seeing a Sith more interested in actually caring about the Empire and truly believing that they're doing the right thing versus what you usually see their power crazed, completely consumed by hate. Yeah, I really like this, and the fact that it's a Doro species. As far as I'm aware, you don't really see many Doro force sensitives. But yeah, again, I love it. And I'd love to see this character's story told. And thank you for your submission. From Master Builder Lev, Darth Nocturus, no name, doesn't age, male, he's a clone. The time period, the time of the Clone Wars to the Empire. Rank, Dark Lord of the Sith. Appearance, dark, grim, and ominous. Wears an Imperial Praetorian helmet and a cape, and the rest of his body is corrupted. Home planet Camino. Yeah, Camino. Dub- his weapon is a double-bladed red lightsaber. And now for his backstory. Nocturus was once known as Ditch, 501st clone in the Grand Army of the Republic. He was on a mission when his ship crashed on Dathomir. He hid in a small cave for many years. At the time of the Empire, he ventured further into the cave and found an ancient blade of the Sith. He picked it up, and his body became corrupt. He took his saber and used his newfound abilities to rebuild his ship. He flew to Coruscant and was a lone Praetorian guard. He killed and found a lone Praetorian guard. He killed him and in mere seconds took the helmet as his prize, and had been hiding in the dark ever since. Palpatine tried to get rid of him, but discovered that Nocturus was invincible. He could be defeated, but was too powerful. Okay, so this is definitely a unique one. A clone that's a Sith, but not by his choice kind of situation, like a possession. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I just really like this idea, and I think this could be explored more into an interesting little story or something. Thank you for your submission, Lev. From Lego Bro 2, Darth Thydrax. I'm assuming that's how you say it, so that's how I'm going to say it. Again, apologies if I get it wrong. Darth Thydrax. He's a Gendai. So for those who don't know, that's the same species as Dirge and Ravis from from Jedi and Star Wars comics and other stuff. Homeworld, he forgot, which, hey, happens to the best of us, pal. he's a male, real name, Orden Ven Kadir. Orden Ven Kerr, I'm going to say, yeah, Orden Ven Kerr, title of Lord of the Sith, Master Unknown, kept himself small usually until you kept himself smaller than usual Gendai to keep his identity more secret and create more pain for himself. Age 4,000 to 6,000 years old. Time period from the Great Galactic War, the time of Darth Malgus. Okay, so the Old Republic to the time of Luke's new Jedi Order. Ooh, so oh wow, he is old. Double-bladed lightsaber. Mastered every lightsaber form. Prefers Form 4 Ataru. Wears a metal helmet with a thin visor, black robes, and black cloak. No need for armor, as his lightsabers don't kill him. Yeah, that's true. And now for his backstory. Darth Didrax was born around 5,000 years before the Great Hyperspace War. He was born as Orden Venker on the world of Dantooine to a nomadic family. He was found to be force sensitive by his family at a young age and caught the attention of the Jedi. In his many missions as a Jedi, he saw the injustice that plagued the galaxy and his imbued and this imbued Orden the purpose of his living to help bring peace and justice to the galaxy. In his centuries of the Gen in the his centuries of the Jedi, he was accepted into the secretive Jedi shadows. In his searches for traces of the dark side and anything across the galaxy, he slowly became corrupted by it until he came to believe that it was not through the Jedi the galaxy would find peace, but through the dark side, which the Jedi teach is to be destroyed. After hearing about Revan and Malik through the going into the unknown regions to search for the Sith, Orden followed Revan and Malagus's trail, not Malagus, Malik's trail to find the Sith Empire. Seeing the great potential in Orden, the Sith Emperor gladly welcomed him into their ranks, as he was then renamed Didrax, Lord of the Sith. Didrax was very intrigued by the ancient Sith artifacts and texts, which he learned a great deal from. He also proved to be an excellent, exponentially powerful and skilled warrior. He earned a seat on the Dark Council because of this, and would help rebuild the Sith Empire after the rise and fall of Valkorion and his Sith Empire. Oh, his Eternal Empire. Sorry. Didrax would bring countless victories to the Sith Empire in his time on the Dark Council. However, as the centuries went on, Didrax saw that the Sith Empire was past its days of glory and was falling apart. Didrax did not want to fall with the Empire, so he went on his own quest to find greater power and knowledge. In his quest, he scoured countless Sith temples and found many Sith artifacts before the Jedi shadows he once was a part of not would not find them and destroy them. In Didrax's absence from the Sith Empire, they did inevitably fall as he foresaw. The broken Sith Empire was scattered in the remnants of Sith warlords that Didrax had no interest in trying to unify, and that Didrax had no interest in trying to unify them together. Around 1020 BBY, when the Brother of Darkness arose, Didrax saw them as an insult to the Sith's legacy, wishing to humiliate the leader because of his weakness. Didrax sought them out. As he was journeying to Korriban to destroy the Brotherhood, he had a vision of them being destroyed by a super weapon and one Sith Lord remaining who would bring the Sith the galactic dominance. Diedrich, seeing that the Brotherhood of Darkness would be destroyed themselves, he did not want to waste his time. As Diedrich was journeying through ancient Sith worlds, he came into the Cardel Cardelba system to find secrets of the capital in the capital of Naga Sadao. As he was traveling, he was shot down by Republic surveillance in the system, and his ship crashed into a frozen lake. For the next 1,000 years, Thydrax was frozen in ice until 5 years after the destruction of the second Death Star. He was found in the ice during a mining operation, and the rest of the story of Thydrax is to be found out. At the time of Luke's Jedi Order, he took on the Eighth Brother as his appearance. His character is actually going to be the main villain of his Luke's Jedi Order series. He's already had appearances in the Jedi Bob vs. Sith Lords Part 1 and Part 2. So everyone, please go check those out. I haven't yet, but I'm going to as well. So please go check those out from Lego Bro 2. But yeah, back to this character. That's a very cool and interesting character and very intriguing. Like, how he's not stupid. He knew the Sith were going to fall at some point, and seeing a better alternative, just left and let them to their own devices. And the fact that he's a Gendai, which is an awesome species. Like, they're like made of entirely muscle and tissue. They're actually really cool, but yeah. So trying to think what else I want to say about this character, but yeah. Okay, I can't think of anything else to say. This is just a very cool character, and thank you for your submission. From Zack Attack. Sith name Darth Gladys. Real name Renji Sindor. Age 19. Gender male. Species human Kevlar hybrid. Era High Republic era. Rank apprentice. Appearance has semi-long black dark silver hair, slick, slicked back behind his ears, and has dark green eyes. He has semi-dark skin. Outfit: he wears a black trench coat with a under with a undershirt with a shirt underneath with black pants and boots. Home planet Agmar. Lightsaber: he wields a double-bladed lightsaber with a bright red crystal. He specializes in Form 5 Xian/Jimso and Form 6 Neiman. And now, for his backstory. Darth Gladys was born Renji Sindor. He was a product of a relationship between a human male and a Kevlar female, making him a hybrid. Though his birth was not the product of love, which led to his mother leaving home only a year after his birth, leaving only his father to raise him. Reggie's father would blame his own son for his mother leaving, resulting in his father drinking and abusing Renji from an early age, but there was one hope. Renji lived on a farm on the planet Agmar and would often be left there completely on his own when his father was out. At the age of 8, while exploring the outside of his home, he met a stray puppy. Aww. Seeing that the dog was homeless, he fed the poor creature. Over time, he would return to the exact spot and feed the dog once again. Eventually, the two became close. Renji would name the homeless pup Bark simply because of the sound he would make it. Also, his fur was dark brown, like bark on a tree. A year passed. Renji had gotten very comfortable with Bark to the point where he was able to bring the dog on his farm where the two would spend their days together. They were having a happy day until Renji's father came home in an especially bad mood. Highly intoxicated and looking for something to swing at, he found his son and began to brutally beat the poor boy. But as he did not notice the young pup in the corner who latched, who latched out and bit the father's hand to protect his friend. In a fit of rage, the father quickly threw the pup, slamming it into the wall. It was at this moment, in pure unadulterated rage and instinct, Renji first used his force abilities. Unknowingly extended horse, his hand horse pushing. Okay, sorry, that did not make sense. His hand pushing his father directly into a stone wall, flying at high speed. The impact broke his father's neck, killing him. Renji, completely broken and confused, ran into the forest, having no idea what to do. He ran and ran until he collapsed out of exhaustion. He had no idea what happened to his friend. He soon awoke, but he was not alone. Next to he was next hold on. He was next to a campfire with a female Ikochi. I think that's how you say the species name. Ikochi, sitting across from him with a dark hood over her head. Once he awoke, she introduced herself simply as Kojas. She she would explain to him that he was special, he was force sensitive, and gave him the ability to tap into the energy field that made up all living things. She also explained that she was part of a group called the Sith. The ideology of the Sith intrigued Renji, and she made him an offer. She would teach him the ways of the dark side of the Force and teach him how to stop other boys from being abused by their fathers, but on one condition, he would become her apprentice. He accepted her deal and it was at this moment, kneeling down below his new master, he was bestowed the new name of Darth Gladys. For the next 10 years, he would train under his new master. The master and the apprentice would train on his homeworld. The training was brutal. He knew it would be. If you were to fail, she would punish him severely, often, sometimes even marking him with her lightsaber with simple flashes across his arms for failure. While the training was brutal, it was efficient. Under her, he learned many things about the dark side of the Force. With each new technique learned, one step closer to the dark side is the true power to help save young children from their abusive parents. He would look at those who he would look at those who hurt children as monsters and would give them no mercy. He made a vow that he would slaughter any who would do that. Also, in these 10 years, he learned how to fight with the ancient weapon known as the lightsaber. Before he could make one, they would often train with sticks. Kojas would pick up on his lack of skill with a single blade, but soon quickly realized he showed great promise with a two-sided weapon. So, for his 18th birthday, she gave him the required pieces he needed to construct his own double-bladed lightsaber. But one problem arose. Over the years, Gladys would visit his old farm for one simple reason: to his friend Bark. He would often do this in secret, and as the years went on, the pup became a fully grown dog, and the two were as thick as thieves, with Bark being the last true thing keeping him tethered to the light. Before she truly starts training him as an apprentice and to fully submerge him in the dark side, and in the darkness, he needs to do one more test. Darth Congus orders. Darth Congus told him to kill Bark. Gladys was horrified by the idea, but he knew this was the only way to gain the power he needs. His master strapped the poor dog down and waited for her apprentice to kill Bark. Standing above his only friend, lightsaber in hand, with his finger on the ignition, but before he could ignite the blade, he stopped. He told his master he could not do it. Darth Khan just simply laughed at her apprentice, telling him how weak he is, telling him that he will never be strong enough to protect those he needs worthy to protect and bring justice to those who hurt children. Knowing he could not defeat his master, he stood there taking every insult, until she said that he was just as weak as his father said he was. Simply hearing his father's name being brought up made him snap. The memories and trauma of every beating he had he has ever taken from his sadistic murder monstrous father flooded into his mind, and in this moment he ignited his lightsaber, stabbing Bark straight through the heart. After this he came to his senses, realizing what he did, dropped to his knees and looked at the lifeless eyes of a friend who died by his hands. As his as he grieved, his master simply stood over him and said, "Your real training starts now." Then in ordering him to come along. Filled with rage and sadness, he followed. He didn't even bury Bark, simply leaving the corpse chained up and the dirt left for the elements. It was after this. It was after that the young boy Renji Sindor was no more, and the only thing that was left was the dark and cold Darth Gladys. Dude, Zack Attack, you really come up with some of these most bad, awesome characters. Like, I'm actually getting a little choked. I was actually getting a little choked up reading some of his stuff, specifically with the dog and Bark and all that. Dude, make this. I could see this being a story in and of itself, like a slow turn to pure darkness, and seeing how that affects him afterwards. Is he haunted by what he did? Does he ultimately find peace with what he did, kind of thing? Yeah. Again, this is awesome. I'm trying to come up with stuff to say, but I can't. Thank you for your submission. And we have our last one from Jonathan Miller 6381. Sith name Darth Callus Kilsing. Real name optional. So and that's blank, so the doesn't know his real name, or we don't have a real name. Age unknown. Gender male. Species human. Era/time period, the Old Republic to current time. So I don't know exactly how long that would be. You could Anyone can help let me know, or you can help let me know. Rank Eternal Sith Emperor, Eternal Sith Empire Emperor and Darth. Appearance has scars across his body, but also has one going downwards across his right eye. He has Sith yellow eyes. Outfit, he has ancient Sith armor, but also black robes as well. Home planet, a custom planet Orban. So I'm assuming this is a planet you made up. Lightsaber type color form, has a cross-guarded red black unstable lightsaber with a gold dragon wrapped around the handle. Has has ancient Sith lightsaber forms mixed with his own forms. And now for his backstory. Callus was born during the ancient Sith Empire and saw at a young age the Jedi and Republic slaughtering his people at a young age, which wiped out his entire family. He swore revenge on the Jedi and the Republic and trained to be a Sith. Throughout the years, he remained in the shadows and also was tired of the Sith infighting, so he created his own eternal Sith Empire. He even became immortal and lived throughout the years and even saw different ages. Now he's going to reveal himself and his eternal Sith Empire to the New Republic. Okay, so this is set during the in between before the sequels. Gotcha. And finally, have his revenge on the Jedi and New Republic. Long live the eternal Sith Empire. Long live Emperor Kilsing. Okay, so yeah, another pretty short story, but to the point. Yeah, I love this. I'm always been a big fan of secret Sith empires and them hiding in the shadows, waiting for their right time to strike. Yeah, I really can't think much else to say. I just like the story and bonus points for the crossguard. It's my favorite type of lightsaber as well. Yeah, thank you for your submission. And now, before we get into the actual character art for each individual character, I do want to point out some of these may not be exactly how they're exactly depicted because AI is not perfect, and the Darth Plo one in particular, I had to Photoshop Plo Koon's face on the actual picture, so if that looks a little wonky, I apologize. So, without further ado, let's get into the characters. So that's going to do it with this character's video. I hope you guys continue with these characters because the Star Wars universe is such a vast place and full of potential for unique and interesting characters, maybe in your own stories or whatever you want to do in the future. So that's going to be it. But before I go, remember, the Force will be with you, always.